Okay, so not that much else happened before the Mandalorian Wars. There's also before getting to the Mandalorian Wars, we played like one pre-made campaign. There was like a bounty hunting thing, and there was a bounty on someone that was the person was so dangerous on a certain desert planet that they had to get the Jedi involved to try and bring them in or something. And it was a pre-made adventure, so the thing sort of went to a point where they were all in a small village. There were buildings, and then it turned out to be an ambush. There were people on top of the buildings, and they all had their blasters pointed at them. And a dust storm hit, and no one could shoot through the dust. I mean, they were firing their blasters, which was only giving away their position still, and only the Jedi's could use the Force to sense through the dust storm. And once the dust storm hit, their numbers counted for nothing, and the droid got all the sensors confused and started looking for the ship, and just sort of, the astromech droid was just sort of going around in circles, looking for the ship, and the storm ended up passing before the astromech droid found the ship, and that was an entire night of playing Star Wars RPG. And when people have a bad time, they like to blame their DM or GM, but actually they were just acting stupid and didn't bother to learn the rules, and then just sort of expected the game to be led by their expectations, and that's totally, there is no game when you start doing that. So then the Mandalorian Wars got started, and I brought 2 new characters into the group, a new bounty hunter, because the last one already stopped playing, who decided to be they're called like Neffis or something, I don't know, but they're these really pale, beady-eyed aliens with black hair, and they're shorter than everyone else. And I can't remember what they're called. I think they might be called like Ubesk or something. And they're what Princess Leia pretended to be when she went to rescue Han Solo in the 6th movie. And one of them was that, and he did really well just because he was really good at role-playing games. Another new character was a Force user, a Sith, who was a tree. They're the tree. Oh, that's why I was confused. The tree was a Neti. That's Neti, and his name was Drakum. And he was really the only actual dark side user that was straight dark side from the beginning. And I started them in like the first Mandalorian War campaign. I already enlisted. The Neti being an unlicensed Force user or not profiled in. The bounty hunter was just a private conscript in the Republic Army fighting Mandalorians, and they rolled really well. Everything went really good for them, and they were able to kill a lot more Mandalorians than they should have, because Mandalorians were supposed to be a lot more powerful. Somehow everything just went really well for them. The tree Neti person disguised himself as a tree over a canyon, and the bounty hunter that was in the Republic Army at the time used a grappling hook to get across the canyon while they were being chased by Mandalorians. The Mandalorians climbed across the tree trying to get across the canyon because he was just in the tree, and they were climbing after him. And the story didn't make complete sense, but the tree then just used like a grappling shack and knocked all the Mandalorians into the canyon and killed like 8 of them. And the story kept going. Then they went to Tatooine, and the tree and the bounty hunter just mostly the tree just went around raping and torturing people on Tatooine while dressed as a Mandalorian, so for propaganda reasons, to make Outer Rim planets more afraid of the Mandalorians by leaving behind falsified evidence of Mandalorian attacks on Outer Rim planets. He was a dark side tree and a Sith Force user. Yeah, sort of difficult to remember the first Mandalorian battles. I think they were. The first one was huge open plains where they would go running across open plains with trench warfare and giant laser cannons going off, holding energy shields and vibroblades, and we're just sort of clashing in open conflict. And it's kind of difficult to mention anyone's name in specific, but I guess I'll have to. The first battle had Lieutenant Carlson, and he had to manually fire one of the cannons after it had already gone down, and got into a fight with a Mandalorian captain, and got his got roughed up a bit and stabbed, but ended up killing that Mandalorian in some cool way after really think about how this stuff isn't actually that interesting to repeat. Huh. Yeah, that was definitely the state we were in for sophomore year in high school. Thinking about this stuff, it's like, what is the point of... this stuff is really far out, though. It's far out to be talking about something happening thousands of years ago in another galaxy that involves interstellar warfare. And most of Star Wars RPG was battle scenes and blowing up shield generators or energy cores and causing larger explosions where you just need to hit the critical spot in the base and then the base is disabled. And then how many times can you do that, and how long can this be entertaining? Is it just the special effects of laser weapons and force effects, miniatures moving? Yeah. And then there was a tundra planet where they had to do all the same things. I guess the best part was a forest world that had pyramids, and they had to go through tunnels to an ancient secret entrance into the hidden part of the base, which actually happened to be the Mandalorians' shower room. They caught the Mandalorians in the shower and were beaten and raped by naked Mandalorians, who they outnumbered. But outnumbering the naked Mandalorians and having a drop on them and having superior armor and equipment wasn't enough, because the Mandalorians were just so much superior as warriors and fighters that while naked, they just dodged all their weapon attacks, took their weapons from them, and then beat them with their own weapons. Luckily, the droid was there, and the droid was able to save all the Jedis and bounty hunters with its superior programming. And we'll pick up the story again later.